Hey YouTube, and let me go ahead and start the Instagram live. Hey Instagram. So let me just get started. So I am Genevia. I am a copywriter turned beauty founder. I owned a cosmetics line for about 3 years, and now I am a web designer. So hold on, let me fix this a little bit. So I am the founder of HB Lighthouse, a web design studio based in Maryland, and I design websites for health and beauty brands that are looking to launch their products or redesign their existing websites. So today I want to talk about copywriting. This is a thing that a lot of people get really nervous about because they're not sure what to communicate to their target audience or how to communicate. And so, as a former copywriter, I worked in copy for like 9 years. I worked in fashion, beauty, and education technology. And those are a lot of different things. But for the main thing really is the same. It stays across the same. It's just like you're communicating in a different way when it comes to those different industries. So, wanted to talk about what is copywriting and how you can sell your products with words. So, copywriting, first and foremost, is basically promotional text. So, it is text, words that is convincing people, educating people, or engaging them. So, those are the three main reasons for why people would use copy to sell anything. And copy is not legal. I know a lot of people think that when they hear the term copywriting, they're thinking legal, they're thinking something that has to do with protecting a brand, which is copy, Right. So this copywriting that I'm talking about today is copy, Writing. Two completely different things. So this type of copywriting that I'm talking about today is mainly marketing and it's a part of branding. So in a video that is also on my YouTube channel, it's a branding video called Three Things to Consider when you're branding. And messaging is one of those things. And this is what messaging includes: copywriting. That is messaging. People call it brand messaging, web copy. It's really all the same thing because what you're doing is you're copywriting. So, just to like set the tone and let you guys know what these terms mean. And so, copywriting is just promotional text that you're using to convince, engage, or educate a consumer. So, we got that out the way. And if you want to know a little bit more about branding and how this falls under branding, you can check out the YouTube video called Branding Three Things to Consider. I think that's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure. But it's on the channel. You should be able to find it because right now there aren't that many videos uploaded. So it's super easy to find on my channel at HB Lighthouse. So copywriting are things that you will find copywriting on websites. You'll find them on advertisements. You'll find them in emails. So when people are sending emails, that's copywriting. When you are visiting websites to shop or just to educate yourself, become familiar with certain topics, that's copywriting. Ads that you see, billboards that you see driving down the highway, driving down the street, copywriting. And so a lot of people, again, basically get hung up on what to write. Like, what do I write? Where do I start? And so, as a former copywriter, you really, when it comes to copywriting, you really just want to tell stories. It's all about storytelling and really just creating meaningful content that meets people where they are and engages with them. So you really want to try to just help customers see how the products fit into their lives. So, for instance, you want to stimulate their senses in a way where they can understand why they need to buy a product. So, for instance, um, you're always trying to provide value and help the consumer understand what problem you are solving for them. So if it is a person who has acne and you're selling products that combat acne, you want to be able to communicate that and tell stories around this product, its benefits, the why and the reasoning behind, the creation of this brand. You want to tell stories around your founding of the brand. So why did you start the brand? Do you have, personal issues with acne? How did you solve these problems? Okay, I created this product and I've been using it, and here are the before and after pictures of me using it, and this is going to help you XYZ become more confident. It's going to fade all of the marks if that is what another benefit of it. So you really want to tell the stories around that product and share your personal experience, especially if you have personal experience with that specific problem. So that is sort of how you do that. And then another thing that I wrote down is stimulating the senses and creating emotional connections. So a really great example of that is um, something that I shared in the branding video. So I talked about how, if you're familiar with Trader Joe's, which is a grocery store here in America. I'm not sure if they have locations in out of the United States, but Trader Joe's is a grocery store, and they, to me, are really known for having descriptions for every single product. So there's a little placard that has enough room to fit a sentence, the name of the product, and then a sentence. So it's not that much space. So a really great example of stimulating someone's senses and just creating emotional connections is Trader Joe's. They're able to do that really well in their copy. So, if, for instance, I gave the example of apples. If you're going to Trader Joe's to purchase apples, you know that there's lots of different types of apples that you can buy. So, the example that I gave was Honeycrisp, which is a type of apple. The product description will say something like, and this is not verbatim, I'm just making this up, but it will say something like sweet, tart, and crisp apple, perfect for blending smoothies, perfect for making salads, and great for using in your granny's homemade apple pie, something like that, right? So, how are you stimulating your senses or stimulating the person's senses in that copy? Well, first, you are telling them that this apple is perfect for your granny's homemade pie. So you're already in your mind, your mouth is watering. You can already taste your grandmother's homemade apple pie. You know how bomb it is. And that's already doing something to you. Like there's a emotional connection there. Then the idea of maybe you're on a health tip. So maybe you are trying to be healthy for 2024 and you want to start making smoothies and eating salads. And now that you know that this particular Honeycrisp apple is really great for salads over all the other apples, you're going to buy that because you know that one, this is a 2 for 1. I can make a smoothie with this apple and it'll come out real good. Or I can eat a salad or add some apples to the salad and it'll be really nice, crisp, tart, fresh, sweet. You have all of those descriptors in there. And so it's already making you think that, oh, I'm about to create a bomb salad with these apples. So that is an example of stimulating your senses and creating an emotional connection. So Trader Joe's does this really well, and that's copywriting. They're literally just using a sentence because again, these placards are not very wide. There's not much room for a whole lot of copy. So they only have like a little bit of space to convince you, to engage you, and to, what is the third one? Convince, educate, and engage. So those are the three things. They only have a short amount of space to do those three things. So, and that is like a really great copywriting. That's a prime example of how to write effective copy is to engage someone's senses and tell a story. So they're telling you a story about these apples and the different ways that you can use them. They're providing value because they're telling you how these apples can solve a problem. So again, maybe you are looking to be more healthy and you want to know different ways you can use an apple, where you can use them in a smoothie, you can use them in a salad, and you can also use them in apple pie. If you have a sweet tooth and you want some dessert, you can do that as well. So they're providing um, the benefits to buying these apples, and you're going to buy them. They've convinced you to buy them because they've literally knocked out. They've given you three reasons for why you should buy them. That's branding, that's messaging, that's copywriting. So aside from that, I wanted to share some homepage tips that are sort of like best practice when it comes to writing copy for your home page. So your home page is basically your landing page. That is where folks will land on when they type in www dot yourwebsite.com. So when folks land on your website, they're going to get to that page, and the first thing that they're going to see is called the hero section. The hero section is the very top part of your home page that is visible when you land. And that's also called above the fold. So above the fold, again, is the same thing as the hero section, but specifically, but you can be on another page, like you can be on your about page, and it's called above the fold, but it's not called the hero section. The hero section is specific to the homepage, if that makes sense. So it is the first part that you see before you start scrolling on a website, particularly the homepage. So the hero section is where you really want to capture an audience very quickly. So you want to display what you sell and the call to action very, very quickly. So maybe it is product shots, or maybe it's a model shot, or maybe it's both. Split section where you have products and a model wearing the product or using the product if you're selling. Um, if you want to sort of showcase how it's applied or how it can be used. So you have that section, you have images in that section, and then you have your call to action. You also probably have some text there, some body text, sort of sharing a little bit of information about the product. And then you have a CTA, which is also known as the call to action. So call to action button that is telling the person what to do. So whether it is shop now, take this quiz, explore more, view the collection, whatever it is, you want to have the hero section very clearly and concisely have that information right there. So, and you also, well, that's just for the hero section, but in general for the entire home page, as far as like tips on how to write copy, the home page should really just be that page that provides so much value that the consumer is convinced to purchase a product. And some people even have products on their homepage where folks can just select add to cart immediately without even visiting a product page. So that homepage needs to literally have all the value. You need to tell your consumers why they should buy this product, what value it's providing, what problem you're solving, all of that good stuff. Everything that we've learned about value on social media or wherever else you learn about value and problem solving, that is where you want to put all that information. So on your homepage. You also want to use you versus we copy. So you copy is more personal, it's more engaging. You want to be able to really connect with your audience, with your consumers by using you copy. So, this product is great for your skin instead of we or they. You want to speak like you're speaking to a friend. And it has to be conversational. And that's why we use you copy. It just performs better than we copy or they copy. You don't want to isolate the consumer by saying they or we. You really want to speak to them directly and make sure that it's conversational copy that makes it seem like you're talking to them. Like they can literally read your homepage, read your website, read whatever you have to put out across any channel and feel like you're speaking directly to them. So that is another key for writing effective copy that sells products. So product page. Your product page is basically where you sell your products. So again, you want to create value even on these pages and do not skip the product description boxes. You really want to fill those out and you want to provide meaningful content there. So again, stimulating the senses, what does it look like? Even though they can see a picture of it, maybe you want to go into specifics about what that physical product looks like. So maybe it's a body cream. You want to tell people that it's like a creamy snow white color. It's super creamy. Like you want to describe the actual product. You want to let people know how it smells. If there is a smell to it, you want to tell people what it smells like. You want to tell people how it feels. So again, creamy, silky, powdery, whatever the case is, you want to be as descriptive as possible and let people know what this product, again, the senses and why they should buy it. And another good tip about actually filling in those product descriptions is that when you're providing meaningful content in those description boxes, it's also helping with SEO. So SEO is search engine optimization. I'm not an SEO expert, but when I worked as a copywriter, there was an SEO team that we had that would submit SEO strategy to the copy team. So that strategy often included keywords. Another word for them is top queries, key queries. And we would use those keywords in headlines, in header text, in body text, wherever it made sense. But they would usually give us strategy around like where they would want certain keywords. Like, oh, we want it to be definitely on the homepage for sure. Like you definitely want to add SEO keywords on your homepage. But like they would say, oh, we want it in this section here. We want it in this section. They would be very specific about which section should have which keywords. So we would have to build or create content around those keywords. It is what it is. So that is why it's important to use keywords and know what the keywords are in your industry. So for instance, if you know that what do people search for the most? So for example, skincare products for oily skin. Those are skincare is a keyword. Oily skin is a keyword. Or key query, because it's not one word, but those are the type of keywords people search for. So you want to maybe have a header section that uses those words. This is just an example. You really want to study your market and know what the keywords are for the products that you're selling. Don't use my example. But I'm just giving you an example of like how SEO works. Not an SEO expert, but I know that in Shopify, there are certain fields like meta descriptions. Whatever you see meta descriptions in Shopify, you definitely want to take advantage of that and not necessarily stuff it with a bunch of keywords, but you want to be able to use thoughtful language in those sections because it helps with search ranking. Google is going to rank your website if it knows that people are searching this particular query. They're going to rank your website as one of the top because you're using the proper keywords that people are using to find products that you sell. That's generally what SEO is. So, and maybe I'll do another video where I share like which fields in Shopify actually are important for SEO. But I know for sure, I can tell you when we're talking about product tips, that the description box is definitely a place. Your homepage is another place where you definitely want to include keywords. So, and you also, when you're creating product descriptions, you also want to make sure that they're different across the products. Um, because if they're the same, you can get penalized for that because there's nothing unique or new about your description. So you definitely want to have different product descriptions for every product that you are selling. Um, because again, meaningful, valuable content helps. And if you have, for instance, if you have like a nail polish line and if there's 12 colors, you can do in Shopify, you can just add variants to that one product. So basically you can have 12 different swatches instead of having 12 different product pages, if that makes sense. Um, so an example of that again would be like a Sephora or a beauty store that sells products online that has maybe a million OPI products. And instead of having a million OPI product pages, you just have 12 or not 12, I'm sorry. You have one product page and it has a million product swatches of that product. Sephora does that. A lot of brands do that who have like, and it's called roll ups or variants. And it's just because like there's no need to have, and it also has something to do with SEO, but because like there's no need to have so many different pages of the same product, you can just literally have a swatch and it just makes things easier and it helps people find things a lot easier as well. So when it comes to product descriptions, again, you want to infuse personality in your product by engaging people's senses. So we already talked about that. Um, you want to be as descriptive as possible, and you want to talk about the features, but ideally focus on the benefits of the product. So that is all that I had for this video, copywriting and just how to sell your products with words. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you need help with copy prompts, just like prompts to get you started writing, which would literally just be questions or statements to just help you start the writing process, let me know in the comments below and I will do another video or maybe just create some sort of like guide that will help you all get started on putting copy together for your websites. So this video is going to be available on YouTube. Even though I'm on Instagram Live right now, it'll be available on YouTube for you to watch. Our YouTube channel is at HB Lighthouse. Make sure you subscribe and like our content. I'll be putting out videos daily. That is what I'm challenging myself to do is, creating daily content, daily lives. So you can check our YouTube channel. And if you subscribe, you'll get notifications when any new video is uploaded. We also have a TikTok page that I started and an Instagram page. Obviously, I'm on Instagram. So you can follow us at HB Lighthouse at both or on both Instagram and TikTok. And I think that is all that I have for you all today. So yeah, this video again is going to be on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye. Bye, YouTube.